Hey everyone. Yes. Welcome to today's live. I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart because financial freedom is what I'm after, you know, having been a stay-at-home mom and basically missing out on my 401k contributions for quite some time because I chose to be a full-time parent uh, caused also some anxiety inside of me because it's like, well, who's going to pay for me when I get older, right? And I know there are some of you that are probably saying you are worrying about this too much, everything is going to work out, but it's just who I am. And if you are like that too, this is something that has crossed your mind. This is maybe why you are doing your business, why you are trying to have some extra, because you are sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You're sick and tired of feeling anxious about money. You're sick and tired of not knowing how to pay medical bills or how to do things. Yes, we want to chuck it off as like, oh, we do this for fun and we like the cruises and we like the fun and the people, but do we really, or are there a lot of us that actually secretly and shamingly hide the fact that we have credit card bills to pay, that we are worried about our financial future, and that we are doing this because we really seriously need to make this work? Okay, so here's what happens when we have the energy of we must make this work. We are starting to get commission breath. Okay, what is commission breath? Commission breath is when you start going after people, inviting them to your random parties without having qualified whether or not these people are even in the market to buy what you have to sell. Okay, and that is such an old strategy that people are using. They are using this, it's just a numbers game. It is not just a numbers game. These times are over and done with. The moment you come up with your general script, the moment you come up with, I just wanted to invite you to, people are going to have their guards up. They're going to say, absolutely not. I don't even know you. And why are you inviting me to this random party? And I'm so busy as it is, and I don't even know what you're selling, right? It's like, it just smells bad. It's commission breath, as John Melton says. And that's not mine. That's from John Melton, which he's fabulous. So anyway, that is what always resonated for me, right? Commission breath is when you are trying to make more money faster than actually taking the time to evaluate if your client or your potential prospect actually needs what you have to sell. Now, that will not work no matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in logistics sales. It doesn't matter if you are in network marketing, if you are in social selling, if you are in real estate, if you're in an insurance business. If you just pitch for the sake of pitching, you will not make any money. And it will just perpetuate your fear of missing out or not being able to pay the bills. There is, however, a much better way. There is a way where you can actually do your sales activities the authentic way, the connected way. And what does that mean? To be connected and authentic, right? It means showing up with all you got to the table and being confident enough to say, I am the best woman for this job. So let's take, for example, health and wellness products, right? You are in health and wellness industry and you are a health coach, or I always love that when people say, I'm not in network marketing, I'm in a health coach. And I'm just going to say, yeah, it doesn't matter, because either way is an online business and you have to do the very same things, whether or not you're selling supplements or you're selling your health coaching. It's still a product that you're selling, right? Your health coaching options are a product. So you have to do the same thing. You have to warm up an audience. You have to find, first you have to build an audience. You have to find an audience. You have to figure out who are you even serving. And then in your area, in your niche, right? Whether or not it's network marketing with the health and wellness company slinging supplements, if it is slinging shampoo, if it's slinging health coaching, it doesn't matter. Here's what you need to have. You need to have an audience of people that are interested in this topic. See, this is something that I, for years, did not understand. I have followers that are following me, following me, following me. They're watching every single one of my stories. They're watching all this stuff, and I love them dearly, and I love you all, right? And I thank you so much for watching and taking an interest in my life. However, these people will never buy what I sell. These people are there to watch me and see what happens to me, right? And what happens to my business, and they are not interested in buying what I'm selling. And what I didn't do for so long, and I don't want you to make this mistake, I want you to be very crystal clear about who you need to talk to, who would be interested in your products. Okay, are you dealing with women in menopause? Are you dealing with people that are talking to or if do you are you dealing with, are you selling insurances and you need to speak to mothers that are like me, right? People that basically are single married women that are about to be out. I just signed a life insurance, right? For example, and I was feeling super insecure about not having my children protected in case something's going to happen to me. So here's the thing, you have to have a really crystal clear idea as to who you're going to talk to. And then you have to take steps to build this audience, because sometimes we want to get into our head and say, well, no one is going to buy from me. But what we're not wanting to do is taking responsibility for the fact that we haven't done the work to create that set audience. Okay, there are steps that you need to take to build that audience of people that are going to engage with you, that are going to be buying from you eventually, or recommending you if they have something else. So that's step number one. Step number two would be to identify, okay, so identify what difference, it's like the differentiator, what differentiates you from the other person in your company, the next person in your company. Because look at all these wellness companies, right? Let it be Plexus, let it be Shackley, let it be Isogenics, let it be, Bravenly, right? There's, I mean, gazillion different health and wellness, Amari, there's different health and wellness companies, all are saying the same thing basically. What makes you so different? Why would I buy from you? That is the question that you have to ask yourself. Why would I buy from you? I see that pink drink everywhere online, whether or not it's Plexus or Amari. I see the shampoo everywhere online. I see the health and wellness things everywhere, everywhere. The holiday sessions coming up. Why would I buy from you? Who are you that stands out? What are you standing out for? See, and you are hiding behind your company, you're hiding behind your testimonials, you're hiding behind because you haven't done the work of figuring out why you are the right person for the job. So you have no audience to buy from you, and you haven't done the work about you that sets you apart from your competition. That's why you don't make sales. Okay, that is why you don't make sales. I tell you why you should buy my coaching. I tell you right now why you should go into the Freedom Mentorship and buy my coaching. Because here's what I do for you. I am a master of resiliency. I am an absolute perseverance person that can pivot on a dime no matter what. I am somebody that's curious, that is constantly learning new things. So if you're afraid that I'm going to be teaching you old tips and tricks, that is never going to happen, because learning actually is my drug, right? Learning is my coping mechanism with strange things. I am constantly having personal development or, industry training in my ear, in my books, like everywhere I go. I constantly evolve and do new things and so on and so forth. That was actually one of my down pits, that I was constantly doing more and changing up very fast instead of keeping track on what I needed to do next and stick with this until I mastered it, right? That was one of my downfalls. But that's why you need to buy coaching from me, because here's the thing, I don't think there's many coaches able to do that. I can take your situation and very quickly with my brain find a solution for you and offer it for you and play along with you and brainstorm enough with you and really be there for you to say, this fits good, this is good. And then I'm persistent enough. If you want to look through my content and stuff, I've been showing up for years, right? And video you know, all over the place. Think about it. I am not going to just flake away. I am not going to say, oh, next month it's hard, I don't want to do it. Look what I have shown to you. I kept going with my business doing divorce. I kept going through with my business through cancer of my daughter. I kept going through divorce when I lost my mother and my father and my brother and everyone in there. You know, I have had major grief, major transitions, major life events in my business, and that you wouldn't even know. I haven't skipped a beat, and that is what sets me apart, and that is why you can trust me to show you how to get this done, because I've done it through all the ups and downs. I have done it, right? Am I where I want to be with my business yet? No, there's always a next level. But you know, the level that you are on, I can certainly help you get off that level. Okay. All right. So that is what you need to do. You have your audience, redefine that. Then you need to know exactly who are you and why are you the best woman for the job. It is important because that is your confidence. Why, like, people see, we trust Target, we trust Starbucks, we trust, some people even trust Walmart, you know, and that's what you do. That's where you go. That's what you then pass down to generations, right? But nobody, well, don't be that nobody. Actually, there's a lot of people that do, but don't be that person that doesn't take your personal development as important enough, because that is where your legacy is. It's not the company that you're associating with right now. See, many of you mistake that. You want to build a legacy business, but you're not building a legacy business because you're not building you. You've got to build your emotional mastery. You got to build your mindset, your identity. Who are you? What are you standing for? What is the foundation that you're standing on? What are your core values? What is your beliefs? What are your principles? What are your standards? See, I'm teaching my children my standards right now because for many years I was hiding my standards, and I had to relearn my standards. I had to figure out, I was such a chameleon. I was morphing myself like the runaway bride. You know, how do you like your eggs? Well, I don't know. I like it the way you like it, I guess, right? And yes, on the one side, that's love, right? That's what you do. You love, when you love somebody, you're like morphing a little bit into what they want, and you're like trying to make this. But if you lose yourself completely, hey, and if you are a woman in that middle-aged category and you've realized that, you know, shit, I like, pardon my French, but I kind of like lost my way here a little bit, and now your kids are off and you're an empty nester and you need some, this is perfect for you, because you know, you are actually being able to relearn and re-identify yourself. And man, we still have like 50 years to go, right? Sometimes, and I remember the mindset of thinking, oh, I'm going to be old, I'm old. It all depends on how you think about it, right? You may not be old. You may still have 50 years to go, right? So it's like, do you want to do this miserable or do you want to do this great? And I chose to do this great. So re-identifying, figuring out your excellent, your standards, your what do you want to live your life with. So I had to teach my children my standards, right? And I told them, I'm like, my standard actually is excellence. And I've been letting myself down all the time. And see what happens when we do this. See, I like things excellent. I started paying attention to what what is attractive to me, right? What do I like to watch? What do I like? What am I at? What am I interested in? I started paying attention, and I am always interested in everything that has to do with excellence. When people are excellent at something, I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. I like that. I want that, right? But then I had to take a hard look at my habits, and I started realizing, like, I'm not showing up excellent. I'm not even close to this. And that is where that's where your work starts. Okay. So instead of beating yourself up and living in shame of being always less than, just become that person, become the person that can do what you are wanting to do. What is your standard? So here's the thing. I may not be a CrossFit athlete yet, but that's what I want to be. right? I am not somebody that has 150% solid on their fitness levels yet. I'm not. I'm working at it. I am in progress, so to speak. But what can I be excellent in today? Where I'm at today, where can I be excellent? And see, here's the thing. Once you master these thoughts, once you master this, you start realizing that you are starting to track momentum. You're compounding over and over and over. You're compounding that these successes, these experiences, and your brain goes from doubting, I don't think I can do it, or feeling anxious about, I don't think I'm going to ever reach it, to starting to notice patterns and starting to notice that, wait a minute, if I do X, Y, and Z, I get A, B, and C, and then, oh, wait a minute, I'll just do more of that, and then I get more of that. Correct? Does that make sense? So that is how you retrain your brain. But it doesn't happen if you don't know who you're going to talk to. You have to have clarity. You need to know who exactly you can serve. And that takes a little bit of personal development, my friends. Then you need to know exactly how you are the right person for the job. Okay? I don't know why I get this now, but that's what it is, why you are the person for the job. And then you need to control your habits and align your habits with what it is that you wanted to do. So you got to heal, you got to connect, and then you got to level up. That is the system, friends. That is how you become the person that, as my mentor always says, she always said, become the person that your results require. Well, that's how you become that person. Okay. You have to heal, you have to connect, and you have to level up. And then you can reach these big, lofty dreams that you have. You can reach that freedom mentorship, that financial freedom that you're looking for, that financial safety. You can reach that, but you cannot reach that if you don't take the steps of redefining your identity. You must redefine your identity. You must take the steps to build that audience that is actually needing your genius. See, but you don't show up as you are, right? You don't show up as you are and with all you have because you're not clear on who you're talking to. So the results that you're getting, okay, the results that you're getting. So remember I talked about these 100 people that are watching my stories every single day, right? They are loving everything. They've been watching me for years, yada, yada, yada. They probably seek me out, whatever, who knows, right? But they like me, or they just want to watch my train wreck. I mean, I have no idea. But those 100 people, for example, they keep watching and they don't buy because they're not my ideal audience, right? They're not somebody that is interested in what I have to sell, but they still watch me. They're still curious. So here's the thing. I could now make that mean no one wants to buy my stuff. Or I could make that mean they are nice to have, but I need a real audience of people that actually need what I have to sell, right? If you are a network marketer, if you are a social seller, if you are an insurance business broker, if you are a realtor that is trying to market your business online, if you are an online entrepreneur, if you are somebody selling crafts, if you are somebody with an online business, period, you need to know some of the foundations of sales. You need to know some of the foundations of marketing. You need to have some foundations of organization and time management. And you need to know how to have this. See, we call ourselves an entrepreneur, yet we don't solve problems for nobody, including ourselves. Well, an entrepreneur is somebody that solves problems, right? And we need to learn how to become that person, and it starts with learning who you are and what you bring to the table. All right, my friends, that was it, what I had for today. If any of the stuff resonated with you, I would love to know in the comments. Share this out, please, with friends, right? I will No, I won't. Sorry, made up my mind. I wanted to find out really quick, why are you watching this? Are you watching this? Are you watching this on replay? Let me know. Talk to me in the comments. And if you're interested, my Freedom Mentorship is only $27. Okay, hop on in there. Stay as long as you want. Check it out. Tell me what you need. Let's get some business rolling, and we'll work from there. All right. We'll talk to you